3 Shocking True Easter Horror Stories. Story 1: The Bloodstained Egg Hunt. When I was a child, every Easter brought a neighborhood egg hunt in the local park. That year was no different. Children and families gathered with excitement, baskets in hand. I was 8 years old, and my heart raced at the thought of finding the brightly colored eggs hidden like little treasures. As I darted through the park, competing with friends, I imagined the chocolates, toys, and surprise gifts nestled inside each egg. Near the edge of the woods, I spotted an old, dusty basket tucked under a bush. Inside were carefully arranged Easter eggs, decorated with vibrant ribbons and a glossy finish, each bearing a child's name written by hand. But something was off. The eggs were cracked, and a sticky, reddish fluid seeped from the shells. I hesitated, a growing unease settling in, but curiosity won. When I cracked one open, I was greeted by a revolting sight. Instead of a yolk, the egg contained what looked like raw animal tissue. The stench was unbearable. I screamed, falling back in terror, and adults rushed over. The police were called, and they discovered several more of the grotesque eggs in the basket. The investigation revealed they were fake eggs stuffed with animal entrails, deliberately placed there by someone. No one ever discovered why. Some speculated it was part of a forgotten ritual or an act of vengeance. Locals recalled that a few years earlier, a pile of stray animal carcasses had been found near the park. Whispers of a connection began to circulate. After that incident, people claimed to smell a strange odor near the woods every Easter, and some children said they felt like someone was watching them from the trees. The egg hunt was permanently cancelled, and the culprit was never found. Story 2: The Cursed Easter Bunny Doll. A family moved into an old farmhouse in a rural California town, hoping for a peaceful Easter weekend after remodeling their new home. But from the very first day, strange things began to happen. A small stuffed bunny was discovered under the child's bed. The kid adored it, carrying it everywhere. But that night, he had nightmares, saying the bunny watched him while smiling. Its grin stretched unnaturally wide, nearly to its ears, and its glassy eyes gleamed with a lifelike reflection. At first, the parents thought it was just his imagination. But the doll began appearing in different spots around the room, on the windowsill, in the closet, at the foot of the bed. Once, they locked it in a wardrobe, only to find it back on the nightstand a few hours later. Convinced it was moving on its own, the parents tried to burn it. But it wouldn't catch fire, and when the flames touched it, a high-pitched wailing echoed through the room. Panicked, they tossed it into the barn. On Easter Day, they discovered an old wooden crate in the barn. Inside were dozens of bunny dolls identical to the one their child had. They were arranged in neat rows, all facing the same direction, grinning eerily. Some had twisted necks, others were missing eyes, and several were stained with what looked like blood. The homeowner revealed that a child had gone missing in that house years ago, and police had found evidence of dark rituals inside. In the center of the child's room was a worn circle on the floor, surrounded by melted wax and animal fur. That night, the doll vanished. The next morning, blood-red letters appeared on the wall. Beside the child's bed, "I shall rise again." The wallpaper was clawed, smeared with palm-sized stains, and beneath the message lay a glass bead resembling an eye. The child screamed uncontrollably. The parents were frozen in shock. Even in later years, every Easter brought fevers, strange giggles in the night, and shadowy figures in the corners of the house. The family eventually moved out. The house now stands empty. Story 3: The Final Easter Mass at the Church. In 1983, a centuries-old church in a small European village held its annual Easter Mass. The structure, dating back to the Middle Ages, had never once missed the holy service. But that year, everything changed when an ancient tomb was unearthed beneath the church. Inside the tomb were mysterious runes, a grotesquely twisted crucifix, and bones that seemed part animal, part human. Soon after, strange occurrences plagued the town. The night before Easter, the priest heard loud banging sounds from the ceiling. While preparing his sermon, he checked the roof with the guard. Nothing was found. But during the Mass, one of the congregants convulsed and began speaking in a strange, guttural language. Then all the candles extinguished at once. Panic spread. In the pitch dark, people gasped and turned toward one another. A stifled scream echoed across the pews. Smoke from the extinguished candles rose and filled the chapel with a suffocating atmosphere. Several attendees later claimed to have blacked out. Some reported recurring dreams of a black figure watching them from above. The priest was hospitalized for shock, and the diocese announced the indefinite suspension of all activities at the church. An official investigation yielded no explanations. The church was shuttered immediately. Locals whispered that the tomb had unleashed a curse. Every Easter since, the church's bell rings faintly before dawn. Villagers say it brings dread rather than joy. Even today, tourists claim to hear screams or see shadowy figures near the ruins. One visitor swore they saw a statue of Mary weeping blood. These 3 Easter stories are not merely urban legends, they are based on real testimonies, with truths still buried in shadows. As Easter approaches, remember someone might be waiting in your town too. Could a similar darkness be hiding where you live? Is your Easter truly safe?